Guy says, if I play very well, stats slash overall performance, I shouldn't lose as much SR as my 5 and 20 teammate, plain and simple. What happens when you're the 5 and 20 teammate and then performance-based SR fucks you? Again, it's just the same thing. None of you guys are Jesus Christ. You guys are all like just average players that are probably like between platinum and like low GM. You're not Jesus Christ. You don't go 30-0 every game. You don't play perfectly every game. You also have bad games where you're the 5 and 20 teammate. Like, if everyone has the 5 and 20 teammate, who is the 5 and 20 teammate? You know what I mean? Like, you're the 5 and 20 teammate that the next kid is talking about. And then the kid that's going to argue with me is the 5 and 20 teammate that this guy's talking about. You know what I mean? Like, some of you are the 5 and 20 teammate. If everyone has a 5 and 20 teammate, like, some of you guys just are that person, but just no one wants to own up and accept that. This guy says you should not be rewarded for being carried, bro. Literally, no one said that. So this guy says it should be performance-based, but it should keep track of everything, not just KDA, but also time on point, healing, damage reduced, etc. It sounds good in theory, but this is also a bad idea, and I'm going to quickly explain why. So I drew up this quick diagram to show you why performance is not calculated off of statistics, right? So let's say your team just caps point on the Shin Shibuya map, or whatever map you want, right? The enemy team would be coming in from here, and ideally, as a tank player, you would want to be holding either on this corner right here, or playing more so here, so you can then retreat to this corner. But ideally, in a comp where you can take and hold a lot of space, you want both of your tanks to be playing this corner right here. You can maybe send one support forward so they still have LOS, and then your DPS would be playing here and here, right? One DPS, one DPS. Both your supports should be on cart before the enemy team walks in to get you as much time and speed as possible, but both of your tanks want to walk forward and then hold this space right here, right? You want this to be your domain, because then the enemy can't just run you over because they have to use cooldowns and ults and all this stuff. They can't just run you down and walk into you, especially if one of your supports walks up and heals you. And then while all this is happening, the cart is going to be pushing all the way up to here, which is now this corner, because your tank's held forward at the second corner and not at the first corner, right? So now, let's say you lose this fight, boom, you lose this fight. When you come back, the cart is going to be right here, which means you only have to win one more fight. You get in one fight territory before you cap second point. Now, this is the performance-based SR scenario where everyone would play if they calculated your SR off of like objective time and stuff like that, right? So every single tank player would be like, damn, bro, I really need my objective time for my performance-based SR. I'm going to not play the game properly, and I'm going to inflate my statistics. So both of your tanks would be right here, right? Which means that you're giving the enemy team all this time to walk in. And now, even worst case scenario, instead of the fight taking place right here with cart right here, the fight is now going to take place with the cart right here, which means your tanks have to swing so wide, and your DPS have to now swing. Instead of your DPS being able to like play right here, and the enemy team be back here, your DPS now have to either swing this angle right here, where they can't see the enemy supports, or they have to swing so wide on this angle and expose themselves so far. They can't reliably take an off angle because your tanks don't have space because they played cart because they're trying to boost their stats for performance-based SR. So let it be known that in these three scenarios, the objectively best play would grant you the least amount of objective time, and the objectively worst play would grant you the most objective time, meaning that in a world with performance-based SR, the objectively correct play would give you less rank than the objectively wrong play, right? Just let that sink in for a second.